It has been decided. I'm opening it up. Welcome back to another edition of Running with James podcast. It is a beautiful afternoon, evening, and
What is time anymore?
I mean, time still exists. There's a calendar. There's a watch.
I feel like it's been a oddly long day. And
Really?
To me, it feels like so much later than it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what to tell you, dude. How you doing, Rocky?
If you are listening, can you tell James and Lauren I'm not talking to them?
Why is that?
What did James do?
I didn't get invited again.
This dude is a fool.
I'm gonna punch this clown.
This dude is a freaking moron. Once again, we talk about something and he gets his feelings hurt because he didn't go. So what did you not get invited to?
To become a High Rocks coach.
Yeah? Did you want to pay $900 to go take a class?
No, but I would have gladly declined.
So what you're saying
So you just want
is
the opportunity to
you
say
want
no.
the opportunity for you to say, so here's where my problem exists, is that I've been inviting you for things for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been getting turned down for a long time. So eventually,
Well, why am I talking right now? I was kidding. All right, you're forgiven.
forgiven now. Well, here's the thing. I appreciate you giving me your forgiveness. But
It's
I
only
wasn't
for the
asking
sake of
for it.
It's only for the sake of the podcast. Just for the
Okay,
people. I'm
okay.
doing it
Well,
for the people today.
Thank you. It's for the appearances. Got to keep
Yeah,
appearances.
yeah.
Right? Unity.
Exactly.
Appearance of unity.
Once podcast is over, silent treatment all over again.
I got you. Okay. Yeah, he sent me some message the other day. What is it? It was like, there's some video for the other thing we're doing with the church, and he's like, y'all took my video down. My feelings are hurt.
I did take my video.
And I'm like,
down.
well, first of all, I don't even think they put the video up. I think I sent you a video that I had edited to show you that you could just put it on Instagram and they'll put the captions on it.
No, I saw the video up.
I never saw the video up.
I helped it go like up 10 views.
And then he's like, they took my video down. And I'm like, I don't even know what you're talking about. And I'm like, I didn't take nothing down because I didn't put anything up because I had nothing to do with it.
It's okay. I'm doing the research. You were in cahoots.
Yeah. Okay. I'm in cahoots.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, I was asked where the videos at we shot last week.
Really?
Yeah. And I'm like, he's editing them. I don't know what to tell you, bro.
It was a birthday weekend this weekend.
Oh, okay.
Who's yours?
Hey, I'm just saying.
And I left the hard drives here.
Did you? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't put that on the airwaves.
Yeah. Let me get to work.
Oh my gosh, so much to do. Rocky's been doing so much.
I believe it.
5:45 runs, you know.
Yeah. No.
How many times have you done that? He's done that a couple times.
5:45 runs.
Mike told me he did it yesterday
The day before
and
that.
Sunday. That's 2 days in a row.
I love you, Rocky, but I don't know if I'm gonna go run with you at 5:45 in the morning.
Yeah, it's the only time I can run nowadays.
Really?
Yeah.
You're just so busy, man.
Yeah.
Dude's working, man.
You know who would love to run with you at 5:45? Jamie, Lillian. They will.
No, they would want to be like 4:45.
Ugh.
They're early birds, man. Early birds. So getting back to my original question, how you doing today, Rocky?
I'm doing good.
Rocky's one of the co-hosts of Running with James podcast, and now that he has his feelings off
Now
of
that you
his
have his
sleeve,
forgiveness.
I've received forgiveness. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm doing great.
Yeah.
Other than
We're
that.
also joined with Lauren. How are
Hi.
you doing today, Lauren?
I'm tired.
I feel like this is an easy listening episode or something.
I would say you sound very calm. I'm very tired. I'm not nearly all the coffee is worn out. Has like leached out of my body, and Rocky's salty.
This is the latest we ever shot.
It is pretty late.
It's
guys.
later,
I mean,
yeah.
This is later, and usually y'all get me fresh off of a kids class, and today you're not getting me fresh off of kids. So this is what happens when I can bring myself back down.
So maybe we should like put it to a vote. Do y'all want James when he's at an energy, like all wound up and frustrated from all these kids, or do you want him when he's like super chill and it's jazz hour?
Jazz with Chaz. No, I mean I'm fine. I'm good. It's y'all that are like super laid back. I'm chill.
I meant to ask you if we could stop and get a coffee on the way back from the class we taught, but I fell asleep clearly.
You did fall asleep.
I fell asleep in the car.
She just basically turned my radio off, what I was watching and listening to, or what I was listening to, and proceeded to tell me what we're going to be talking about. And then as soon as she got through talking to me and telling me how it was going to be, she's like, okay, you can listen to your show again, and then went to sleep.
Shot caller.
Am I not telling the story correctly?
If that is how you perceive
No.
it.
Am I telling it wrong?
I seem to recall saying, hey, because you asked me what we're talking about, and I said, that's a good question. Let me think on it. And then I said, I'm going to pause your show so I don't have to talk over your show and ruin it. I paused your show.
Those words are never said, but okay.
And
But keep going.
and then I said, and then I pitched my idea. I said, what do you think? You asked me some questions about it. I kept pitching it. And then I said, okay, I'll let you have your show back. And I turned it back on, and then I went back to sleep.
So is that not what I just said?
Yours sounded like I was being a royal pain in the A.
So you take things how you want to take
Yeah, I
them.
didn't get that.
Yeah, nobody got that but you. You're the only person that
I
got that.
didn't get that. I promise, Lord. I wanted to take your side. I don't get that.
Yeah.
I got.
So here, I learned this today actually too on our run this morning. We didn't get up at 5:45. We started at 6:45. But as we were going out there, I started mentioning something to Lauren and Laura.
Oh, yeah, this
The
was funny.
second part of Lauren's team of Lauren's.
My partner in
Her
crime.
partner. And I started talking to Lauren about something, and Laura was being extremely quiet. She wasn't saying anything at all. No responses, no nothing, no defenses, nothing. And I realized a light bulb went off in my head, and I said, Laura, I just figured it out. She said, what? When you agree with me, you don't say anything. But when you agree with Lauren, you get all uppity and all loud and all up in my business. And she just started cracking up laughing. And I was like, I got you pegged, girl. I got you pegged. I see what it is. Because she wouldn't say nothing. She was super quiet. I was like, all right. I was like, it's got to go both ways.
Yeah.
It's got to go both ways. It's that women helping women. International
Tight.
Independent Women Days.
Speaking of the Lord runs, how'd y'all do?
It was good. We did really, really well. We did really well.
That was so.
If you don't know what we're talking about, High Rocks, Dallas.
We just did
When we
another.
talked about it, we mentioned it. She talked about how she was going and competing.
Okay, so
yeah.
yeah.
On the
So
last
for those of
podcast.
you who are a little out of the loop, this past weekend was High Rocks Fort Worth. So I got to finally run my race with my teammate, Laura. Hashtag Team Laura Runs.
I got to be a head judge.
James had to be a head judge.
crushed
Which
it.
And I
at
got to
the-
not be invited.
Oh
Yep.
my gosh.
It was such a good weekend.
It was a fun weekend. James actually got to be a head coach at the Wall Ball Station of all places,
Oh,
which
the
was
finisher.
terrifying for everybody
Dude, I got
involved.
shoved by a pro chick.
He did.
I
He had
a
the
white,
chalk
big
on his
white
hand.
chalk sign on my hand where she said, "Get the F out of my way."
Oh, did she say that?
How
Oh,
big
I
were
didn't
her
know she said
biceps?
that.
I could take her. She wasn't that big.
I want to know who it
She wasn't
was.
that big. She had this tattoo all down her sleeve. She had she had like, so you know how, I mean, you know what it's like. How tall are you, Rocky?
Like 6'2".
Like 5'4"? Well, how tall are you, bro? Like 5'4", 5'6"?
Meet me in the middle, man. 5'9".
No.
Bro, you ain't
Okay,
5'9".
5'8".
You ain't not five. No.
You're not 5'8".
My
You're like
license says 5'8".
5'5".
I
Your
ain't-
license
That
is
is
a lie.
rude.
You're 5'6" at least. You're 5'6", aren't you?
No, I'm 5'7".
Oh.
and a half.
You notice how I went from 6'2" to 5'9" to 5'8" to 5'7"?
Okay,
we
fine.
keep talking. He's going to be 4'2".
5'6" and a half. Fine.
I'm not 5'6". I'm not agreeing with that one. I'm
Okay.
give me my inch.
All right, we'll give you 5'7".
There we go.
The average height for a male, though, is 5'8".
Is
Yes. 5'8", 5'9", I think.
it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So he's below average. We'll give him that. How about that? Right? So you know how it is for below average
Silent
height
treatment
guys.
engaged.
They get like that little man syndrome. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Was she
You gotta
tiny?
You get that like what? You remember that cartoon? Where it
Lauren,
was, like,
can you
the,
tell
the
him I'm
big
not talking to him
bulldog and the
no
little
more?
dog's like, "Hey, Spike, what are we gonna do today?" Like,
Oh,
hey, Spike,
the
hey,
real
Spike.
is the Chihuahua and the Bulldog.
You know what?
The
I'm walking out of
Chihuahua was the
today's
one that was real
episode.
hype.
And the bulldog just
You're gonna
like
do the walk
is like,
off?
shut up, right? And so
Yes.
you get this little man syndrome, right? Well, I feel like women, don't get mad at me, but I feel like there's some women, not all women, but some women nowadays kind of have that like
Aggression.
that aggressive tendency. Like they just automatically see a dude or whatever, and they've got to prove themselves and show that like I can beat you, I can beat
Sure.
you up.
Sure.
She had that look about her.
Did she?
Yeah, and then it didn't help her case at all when she shoved me out of the way.
I'm gonna have to go and look at who this chick was. I'm
Yeah.
curious
So
now.
here's what happened. I'm judging the wall balls. I'm inspiring people.
Well, he's kind of like so you're kind of in an area where you're directing people into the
Right,
station
that
at
point,
first.
I was supposed to be directing people because the pro women were coming in, and so they wanted the pro women at the very front, and
Yeah.
so they had both like stations on both sides of the rig. So it was like go left or go right, right? Well, they wanted them like even on either side, right? So we had just sent two ladies over on this side, so they wanted ladies on the right side because they had to go because we had other people going at the same time. too.
yeah,
We had,
so it was like divided up by
open
where volunteers
men,
were,
open-
weights.
Right, so they had all the stuff going on, so they wanted them divided. So I am telling her, go this way, go this way, go this way. And I was standing in front, so it was very obvious
Where he was.
what direction she should go. She came beelined at me, like straight at me. I'm like, no, go that way, go that way, go that way. And she just comes and just shoves me and says, get the F out of my way. I'm going to be honest with you, bro.
You should have just
I'm gonna be real honest with you. Like,
I'd have checked her.
I was like, I don't think you know who you're messing with, player.
I'd have checked her.
You know what I'm saying? And like, I got out of the way, and I know I was gonna go over there and start judging her wall balls for her.
You should have.
And I would be like, no rep. I was gonna be. I mean, I'm not gonna be dishonest with the no reps, but I was gonna be very.
You're gonna be very honest.
I was gonna be very honest. Not like I'm not gonna give you one that's a benefit of the doubt. I'm gonna be like, nope, you didn't touch that white line, or nope, you're butting below that knee crease. Sorry, do it again, player. But I was like, I caught myself in my spirit. I was like, you know what? She's probably got race brain.
Yes.
She's trying to get a
It does
elite
happen,
spot.
unfortunately.
She wasn't trying to be rude. She
Yeah.
was just in the zone. But then I started thinking too, I was like, but she didn't have to tell me to get F out the way. She didn't have to cuss me out.
Yeah.
Right?
She could have just gone around you.
She could have gone around me, or she could have shoved me, right?
Yeah.
Like she accidentally
It
was
could have
running
happened.
too fast.
Sure.
You know, things happen.
Sure.
I was like, no, just get away, James. So I told the other judge, hey man, I'm gonna let you go do that. I'm gonna come back on this side. So the other head judge went over there. And then I started walking kind of back over there, just kind of check on people, check some of my other judges, make sure they're counting right. And she was crying. She broke down because it was like she was trying really
So
hard.
she was really
and
stressed.
she was hurting.
She was
And
stressed.
not stressed. She was hurting.
Yeah.
You could tell she was hurting. And then she was in, I think, third place or something.
I was about to say, what place was
when
she
she
in?
came in, and like she got passed on the wall balls.
Mm.
Right. So like she went from like I'm hardcore to like I'm crying my eyes out right before the race was over.
She got broke.
So she broke herself a little bit. So then I started feeling bad for her. So then I let it go.
That's what happens when you try to play with the blessed man.
That's exactly right. That's right. So, but she was the only negative experience I had. Everybody else
It was a fun day.
extremely positive.
You did tell us at the end though how tired you were.
I was exhausted.
It was a long day for you.
I was so beat up, bro.
So beat it from judging people.
Well, no, it was like because I was trying to help people too.
Yeah, he was actually I would say James, true to being James, because I volunteered as well. He was actually out there motivating and like coaching, basically. You were still coaching.
trying
Like
to,
he
yeah.
would get with
I was
people.
showing people
who
how
were-
to do wall balls, bro.
He was like helping people who were struggling, and he was really getting invested and involved with people. So
I probably
kudos
did
to him.
anywhere from 500 to 1,000 squats.
He did a lot of squats.
That's nice.
Right. So, but I judged. But
The glutes are gonna thank you.
this young lady raced with Laura.
Did you
Right.
judge them?
Oh, for like the first 2 laps, I was like, get out of here.
Well, they came up, and I was like, I immediately went directly because she started with the wall balls.
No, Laura did.
I thought it was you.
No, I told her I can't start.
Okay, so when she finally came up, I walked over there and I was like, because
He
I
went-
don't think I got to y'all until you were. All I know is I
I
didn't get
was
there until
on when
were
you,
on it.
yes.
And I was like, her first one, I was like, you've got to go deeper or it's a no rep.
Yeah,
because
he
I
was
didn't want her
serious to
wasting
me.
anything, right? Because I told all the judges make sure they get down, and so I was like, because that's one of her
One of my weakest things is getting low enough
Getting
on
low
the
enough.
wall balls
on the wall balls.
because I'm just so long-legged. It's just so hard to get down into that
We'll go with
squat.
that. So, but dude, they flew through those wall balls. Bro.
We actually really did. The wall
flew
balls
through
we
them.
got through really quickly. Yeah, Laura and I took those really easy. It was a really good race overall. We're very happy with how we did. Our finishing time was 1:09 for doing our first race together.
It was good. It's a good time.
We were really happy. We were pushing.
great time.
They
we
won
had-
their heat too. Like they was neck and neck with them and another team.
So yeah, so the
And
way
now you know that team is the team that got first place in Houston.
Is that who it was? Ooh. So yeah, we were kind of like neck and neck with these girls the whole time, and then we got ahead of them and stayed ahead of them like for the last couple laps, and it was really intense. We were like 74, 73, 75, 74, and they were on our tail. But it was a really good race. We kind of over celebrated at first.
They were hype, bro.
We won.
They
We
were
could-
Oh,
jumping
because they
up
won
and
their
up.
heat.
Because they won the heat. They were
We
like, we
won the
qualified
heat.
for world championship.
We won the wave. What we're saying, we won our heat wave.
Yeah.
So
dude, they were milking it too.
Did they do like
They
the?
were all over that stage. They wouldn't get off the stage.
Well, I say they did
well,
the Rocky and Apollo Creed.
I didn't think
on
I
the
could
sand.
walk for a second. I was like having
They
a
were
hard
being
time
super
breathing.
dramatic, super excited.
We
And I
were
was
not
so happy for them.
dramatic.
And I couldn't see their time because like the screen went down or something. Like it was weird.
The screen like blacked out, I think, for
and I
a
was like,
second.
they won, they did it. All right, let me get back to business, right?
Yeah, and then we were like beyond ecstatic, but we completely just like idiots. We blanked. We're like, oh, there was another wave behind us, and there was like so many, like several pros
That went as
racing
teams
doubles
together and raced in the heat after them.
And so we ended up
Oh,
finding out we
no.
went from what we thought was being first, and we were like on cloud 9 to being sixth.
They dropped quick because the next group of women were flying.
They were flying.
I would've cried.
We'll had Chris Chris was she
Oh.
took her team number 1. So that chick did
She-
pro
yeah,
wave.
She did relay.
She did
pro,
pro, doubles,
doubles, and
the relay. And she got
All in
first in
Dallas?
all of them. No,
Yeah.
she got second
No,
in
she
pro.
got second in the
second in pro, but first in the other 2.
Yeah.
All in Dallas.
So you'll see her in Manchester, huh, James?
Oh, heck
Yep.
yeah.
sure
But
will.
it was a good race. We loved it. We fell in really good sync, but we're not done. We aren't willing to accept that.
They're going to go to Anaheim.
We're going to Anaheim.
in a month. And
And
go-
Oh, y'all go.
they're going to Anaheim.
We're gonna go to
California
Anaheim.
to try one more time.
we
That'll be their last shot. to
it'll be our
qualify.
last
Road to
shot. We're
Manchester. Here
very
we come.
hungry
Yep.
for that podium spot.
So speaking of which, I think that's so. You mentioned the High Rocks Academy. We went and did the High Rocks Academy.
did.
So we're certified.
We are
So I'm a
affiliates.
certified High Rocks trainer.
I'll leave this
You're
conversation
certified.
now.
She's an affiliate
I'm an
coach
affiliate
now
trainer.
because she's a part of BC Fitness. So we got to go, and that was an experience.
That was
What'd you think
fun.
about that?
And Rock
I
Dog?
thought it was funny.
Huh?
What does Rock Dog get to become?
You get
Well, I
to
don't know
become
who
our
Rock Dog is.
Yeah, we
so
don't
I
know
can't
who
help
that
you
is.
with that. Maybe if you tell me who that guy is,
I hate that so much.
it's not going to happen.
It's happening.
You can call yourself that all you want.
Better catch a wave, man. Better get aboard. Get on the wave.
I'm good. It's an artificial wave. It's a waste of my time.
Look, here's this. I'll give you this, Rocky. Next time we go to a race, I'll tell you one better. Stadium. Someone who is listening or watching out there comes up to you and that we do not know or does not know you and identifies you as Rock Dog and woofs at you. Well, like, okay, you have it. But I want that.
Wow. She's saying if you're a listener and you come up at the stadium race in Waco and woof and say, "What's up, Rock Dog?" You'll give it to him and you'll start calling him Rock Dog.
I'll let him have Rock Dog.
Wow. I'm not gonna. We're a pretty popular show.
Yeah.
So I know that the idea that might actually happen is pretty high.
It's
So
pretty high.
I'm not jumping on that bandwagon, but I'll give that to you. I respect that. I respect that.
I'm going to let, because he wants it that bad.
I respect it.
I have it.
I respect it.
I'm speaking it to existence.
No, even your family won't do it. I was talking to them about it. They're like, no, it's stupid. So anyway, so we did the High Rocks Academy.
It was
He wasn't
fun.
invited.
He was not
I
invited.
was not.
It was good. It was fun.
It was fun. It was a good time. We got to meet a lot of other gyms, some gyms we've heard of, some, gyms we've seen them at races. We never got to officially meet them. We got to meet other racers, obviously, from kind of all over. There were people from Canada, Maryland, not
Yeah.
just Texas.
Yeah, there were like probably 50, 60 people in the academy.
Yeah. We got to.
Ton of CG people, Camp Gladiator. Remember Camp Gladiator, right?
Oh, yeah.
They
A
had,
lot
like,
of Camp
half of them
Gladiator.
went to
Well,
Camp
because they're
Gladiator.
a partner now of High Rocks.
Rocks,
They're an
yeah.
official partner of High Rocks.
So here's what was interesting, right? Is that other than Camp Gladiator, everybody else was CrossFit.
They were all CrossFit.
Everybody was CrossFit.
Everyone was CrossFit except Camp Gladiator and us.
Yeah. And so here's kind of a funny story. So one of the things that they wanted to, and this is what we're going to be kind of be talking about today, and I guess we were kind of going back and forth about why this would be a good topic is we got in there, right?
This was pretty funny.
They broke us up into these groups to create training plans, okay? So High Rocks is a very fitness-oriented, high-impact threshold, running heavyweight type exercise, movement, right? Hybrid type movements. And so, they were like, okay, how do you train for that? And that's the whole point, was to teach people how to teach people to train, to work out for it, to get better for it. And so they broke us up into groups. And so my group had 2 workouts. So we were the only ones that got 2 because she must have really trusted that we knew what we were doing, right? So the first one was what they call the long, steady effort, right? So it's supposed to be low intensity for extended period of time. And the second one was what they called like the High Rocks Complete, right? And so it was supposed to be like an overall fitness where you're supposed to focus on strength and whatever. So we start sitting down with all these CrossFit coaches and CrossFit
You
gym
started to
owners.
pick up on like some patterns pretty quick.
It was quickly, right? So they start talking about, okay, well, why don't we'll do, a 5-minute AMRAP or something like that. And then we'll do this. And then, we'll have, we'll do 50 wall balls. And then we'll do this. And, so it's all these like high intensity, really short efforts. And I was like, hey guys, let me ask a question. Like, so it's supposed to be a long, steady effort. Why don't we just, and it's supposed to last anywhere from 40 minutes to an hour. Maybe run? Should we just run maybe for 40 minutes to an hour or so? Because High Rocks is like half running.
Half of it is running.
Right?
You have to
And
run
they were
6
like,
miles.
No, we don't want to do that. We don't want to do that. And so we finally compromised and we did like they call it an erg complex. So basically you did the bike for 5K on the bike, 5K on the rower, 5K on the skier. and they're supposed to be like lower efforts, right? And
Yeah.
they would like rotate it for a class because it's supposed to be for a class. It's like, okay, fine. And then they got into the complete workout or whatever, the complex, and that's where they put the running. And they did like a 4 by like 200, right? So 200 meters 4 times with a bunch of other like workouts in there, right? And what was crazy is as we were presenting, everybody was presenting, everybody else had very similar styles of exercises,
Yes.
and the running was very
Very minimal.
very minimal. So if you took all of those training programs and you gave those out to the coaches of a gym and said, okay, these are the workouts we're going to do over the next 5 days. Do you know how much running total in the week they were going to do? I added it up.
Did you? I was gonna say, can I guess?
I added it up. Sure.
My guess is gonna be, it was there. I'm trying to think. I'm gonna say 3 miles.
It was 4.5 miles.
Okay.
You know how far High Rocks is for the competition?
It's 6.
It's 6 plus
And
miles.
so you got to be able to do all those efforts and still keep running and keep a
Right.
pace.
So they're not even their idea of running didn't even include 6 miles worth of running in a total of a week.
No, it is funny. So yeah, we mentioned.
Now this wasn't the High Rocks. This wasn't the people who were putting the academy.
No.
on. These were people who were attending.
These
the
were
academy.
people who were attending.
Right, so that
Actually,
was CrossFitters. They're CrossFitters.
so yeah, and so Lauren and Tala and Mark Howe or Howie Howe, I think it's Howe, Howe. Mark, I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing your last name wrong. But Lauren and Tala and Mark Howe, they were leading it. They worked for High Rocks, and they even said, I don't know if you caught this, while they're going at, all right, because so remember everyone, High Rocks is half of it's running.
Yeah.
It's 6 miles.
And
you
they
just
even
heard
mentioned running together. Like people don't do that.
they mentioned you've got to run, and you heard this unison ugh
Exactly.
from everybody, just except like you, me, Leah, and Jamie were all like, "Oh, y'all, wait, what? Yeah, we expected that,"
Yeah,
but
that's
no
kinda
one
like-
else. Everyone was just like groaning over it.
But that was one of the things that stood out to me too. Is these guys were coming in to learn how to train people for High Rocks, but they couldn't get past.
you have to do that cardio.
Half of the other half of the event.
Right. Or they couldn't get past like their own idea of what training looks like.
Yeah.
Right. And so it's this concept that harder is better.
Well, granted, now, not that we're trying to trash on what anyone brought to the table, because there were some actually really good workouts.
There were some great workouts.
Some of the workouts, some of these teams and some of these groups presented were awesome.
But they were
workouts.
hard.
They were also
They were
hard.
such hard
and they still
workouts.
had less cardio in them, but they were as workouts themselves. They were great.
Yeah, I mean, they were great, like programming as far as like, man, that's a good workout. That's a workout I'd want to try to do.
Yeah, for
but
sure.
They were
tough.
grinds.
They were definitely like your one or two hard efforts of the week and
Yeah,
be done.
like they did one workout where it was, and this was actually Lauren's workout or what have you, and I think she was calling it the PFT Plus. And it's
the
basically-
one that she had.
It's like
yeah.
a 1 mile run. Okay. Then you did like 50 broad jump burpees. Then you did, I think, 1,000-meter ski. And then you did 30 burpee pull ups. Then you did a 300-foot, which is basically 100 meters, lunge with like 60 pounds. And then you did 400-meter farmer carry. So that's once around a track with like
400-meter
400
farmer
meter farmer
carry
with like 53 pounds. in
We've
each hand.
done that. It's not fun.
Yeah. And then close it out with 100 wall balls.
And
Oh,
didn't
wow.
also, I thought I had like another mile
That
at
was
the end or something.
a
no?
workout.
That was one workout.
That was one workout.
So
yeah.
the
Good.
average person, I was trying to do the math on it. I thought I maybe could do it somewhere between 40 to 50 minutes. Like just doing the math.
It'd probably
right?
take me an hour and a half.
Most people probably an hour and a half plus. And so this is supposed to be a workout for like a class that most classes last 60 minutes, right? 60 minutes to 90 minutes. So they were like, okay, we've got to be able to modify this for people that are coming in. So they were giving us examples of the type of people that might come in, right?
Yeah, they would
It
give
was
you.
cracking me up.
It was really funny. They'd give you like a person, like, okay, group A, your person used to be an athlete, but now he's like overweight or he's got a shoulder injury, or your person has never done a workout a day in their life, blah, blah, blah. So you had to basically
Cater to
present
that.
it to them and modify it for them
Right.
based
So
on what
like
everything
we had
was.
this guy who hadn't worked out in a couple years because of the pandemic. That means he hadn't worked out in 3 years, 4 years, right? Three to 4 years. And so he's coming in and they're supposed to modify this exercise. Basically, I had a bunch of women who were CrossFit coaches and they were like, well, Chad's coming here because he knows he's looking
Oh,
for a
yeah,
hard
they named him
workout,
Chad.
right? And so we're got to give Chad a hard workout. I'm like, maybe Chad wants a hard workout, but Chad doesn't need a hard workout.
What
Chad
about-
needs to get back into the routine, and he needs to come back like next week or tomorrow And this workout that you're trying to give him is going to crush his spirit, and he's never coming back.
Well, what I thought was funny about that was, so we were supposed to give them a personality. These people, they gave him the name Chad, and then it followed suit to the stereotype of the name. They made Chad sound like the biggest douche.
Yep. And
On
then
the
he was going to
planet.
be disrespectful, and they were just basically they're trying to break.
They're
Chad's
trying to
will.
break his will.
That's their idea of men.
Booyah. That's exactly right. Which is why every time I tried to talk, they basically told me to shut up. Right? So they kind of took over. It was just funny. It was so hilarious. Just like listen to it's just different philosophies about training and different backgrounds.
Yeah.
And so like we were kind of like discussing, okay, well, like what's right? What's the right way to do it? Well, if you look at training over the last like 100 years, you have like these very distinct school of thought, right? On one hand, you have the harder is the only way.
Yes.
Right? And we were actually listening to kind of a podcast on the way here tonight, and they were talking about how like the mentality in America is the harder you work, we respect that.
Yes.
Right? And you should. I mean, hard work is, it's very respectable. If you work hard, to earn, a living or to earn your place in this world, that's something to be respected. But because of that, oftentimes in training, that's the mindset as well, is that if you're not working as hard as you possibly can and putting forth maximum effort every single time, then you're not,
It doesn't count.
it doesn't count, or you're not benefiting yourself.
Yeah.
Right?
And we know a lot of people who follow that mentality.
For sure. And I mean, that's
lot.
that's a CrossFit mentality to an extent. I think the pros don't really operate like that.
No,
Because
I would
most
say
of-
not.
And what's crazy is most of their workouts are like 5 to 10 minutes, right? But the pros, they do it a little bit different. So, but either way, there's another school of thought that is like you should, you don't have to work out really hard. You don't have to go super intense, right? And so, like in the last 100 years, specifically, like we talk about for running, we've learned. If you look at some of the best people, so they on that podcast they brought up Roger Bannister. Do you know who Roger Bannister is?
Nope.
No.
So he's the first guy to ever run sub 4 minutes. Okay, they thought before it happened, everyone thought it was impossible. In fact, they thought that if someone did it, their heart would explode and they would die if they
That
ran
is really
that
fast. I would believe
right?
that.
Well, I didn't know this. I actually just learned this, but Roger Bannister used to do mostly all hard runs and like sprint efforts, right? And he broke it. He broke the barrier, right? Well, a few years later, a dude ran 350. Right?
Jeez.
So another guy who broke the 350 barrier, well, that's 11 seconds faster. Most of his stuff was done very slowly, very easy, and then he sprinkled in really hard efforts throughout the week.
Kind of like an 80-20 almost.
That's exactly what he was doing, right? And so a lot of people believe that if Roger Bannister had operated off of that same training regimen, he could have been even faster, right? So now the fastest mile is like 3:30, something like 3:35, something crazy like that, right? So less than 100 years ago, nobody thought you could run sub 4. Now they're running, 30 seconds faster than that, right? Jeez. And so what you're seeing is over the last 100 years, since they've been actually tracking these times and everything, the times keep getting slower. And what's happening with training, though, is that we have more metrics, we have more scientific study, we have more science behind it.
Technology.
We have more technology. And so we're actually able to measure different types of training techniques. And what we found is that doing the bulk of your training very light, very easy, the 80-20 method is what we talk about, right? Doing aerobic efforts will do the most to benefit you to speed up, right? So it's really counterintuitive. Slow down and speed up.
Yeah.
Right? So you've got these two different school of thoughts. And so here's what I've learned in, the last probably 4 or 5, probably the last, I'd say 6 years now, is that taking the time to build your foundation and your base is the most important thing you could ever do to get your overall performance higher, right? I'm talking about running. I'm talking about strength work. If you develop a strong, firm foundation and you're constantly working on that foundation, that's how you get faster. That's how you get stronger. Really? That's it?
I mean, you were. I lost track.
I looked up Roger Bannister because, like I said, I'd never heard of him. But R.I.P. Roger Bannister.
James about to walk out again.
No.
Yeah.
Well, the beauty of it.
What?
Someone on the other side of this microphone was listening.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. But
I
yes,
hope
that's.
so.
I mean, I heard about Roger.
I'd never heard of him.
What
But
came to mind was a topic I was talking about the other day on my run. He was the guy I was running with was like, "Hey, you should talk about technology before and after." You know, like because
Oh, he brought up. Yeah, he mentioned something to me about it. Yeah,
yeah, he said pitch to James again, and you kind of going on it right now, which is kind of cool.
a little bit. Yeah, kind of. So I mean, it's cool to have the metrics.
Yeah.
and to think about it or what have you.
I just can't fathom. I mean, I honestly can't fathom to run that fast, sub 4. That's crazy.
It's fast.
It's really fast.
It's fast. It's very fast.
I can fathom it, but I can't do it.
Yeah,
I
it's
can't
very
fathom.
fast. So, but the concept is, building up the engine to be able to do it.
Yeah.
So the heart is the engine of your body, right? It's the thing that processes oxygen. It's the thing that pumps the blood. Those are all the things that make you move forward, right? They help your muscles actually to fire and create energy. They flush out the lactate, the waste that builds up, that burns, that causes burns, that makes you slow down.
Yeah.
And so if you don't have a strong aerobic engine, if you don't have a strong aerobic capacity, I don't care how hard you work out and how intense you get, you're only going to get so fast. You're going to
Yeah.
plateau, and your gains are going to be very minuscule.
Well, and then kind of tying back into what we're talking about, certain events like high rocks are going to be hard for you because you might be able to push a sled, you might be able to do the lunges and the burpees, but guess what? You got to go do right afterwards, and you got to do it 8 times.
8 times, 6
Yeah.
miles. I mean,
6 miles.
That's the hard part about because I'm not saying that CrossFit is a glamour sport, but you look beautiful. Like,
you?
As a male, when you see them CrossFit dudes all jacked and stoked,
Look
you know,
like 300.
exactly, like 300. But like, you think when they run, like, oh, I gotta go hard with running, or why do I gotta do cardio? Because
Well, here's the thing. Like CrossFit as a whole actually is a very good training modality, right? They do a lot of high volume activities, right? They do small workouts, but they do a lot of small workouts. And they don't do like these super hour, they don't hardly ever do hour-long workouts. That very rarely happens, right? Now, maybe some of the, like the best of the best, they're doing like 3-4 workouts a day, right? So they're doing a lot of high volume. And a lot of times that intensity is pretty low. Like they may be lifting heavy weight, but the intensity of it is pretty low. So that means their heart rate's staying low. But then they also do things like swim and bike and run. So they're getting aerobic capacity inside of their workouts, right? So a true CrossFitter, the whole point of like the CrossFit Games is to establish who's the best at fitness.
Yeah.
Who's the best athlete overall. And so they have to be really good at a lot of different things. So when we're talking about the guys who make it to the games, these people are doing tons of volume. They're doing tons of, different types of movements and workouts to get their aerobic engine up, to build that muscle, to do whatever, right? So, but that's not what every CrossFitter looks like.
Yeah.
If you go to the average CrossFit gym, the average person looks like us. Actually, we are like jacked compared to
I
the
was
average
going to
person.
say
I mean, you
average,
saw that class.
yeah, I would say the average person didn't not look like you or Tommy or
Rock Dog.
or
Yeah. But I mean, even at the High Rocks Academy, those people were coaches.
Yeah.
How many of those people look like if you had seen them in the streets, you'd have been like, you
I
work
wouldn't
out?
I wouldn't think they were trying to lift that kind of weight.
But I mean,
now maybe
some of them,
some of the chicks, yes.
some of them,
some
there
of
were
them-
some who they were in great shape.
There were
they
some chicks in there that
muscular,
were-
whatever, but there were about half of them didn't even look like they worked out. Right? They definitely don't look like they did
Lifted.
high intensity efforts
Yeah.
and lifted a lot of heavy weight,
No.
right? So it's just like every other training regimen. It's like some people follow the
It depends on, like,
cycle,
what
some
you're
people
trying to
are
get
really
out of it and what
consistent,
you're doing with
and some
it.
people are just there for the community. They're just there to hang out.
No shame in that. I mean, if communities if that's your
Did it
goal.
sound like I was shaming them?
No. I'm saying to the audience.
I thought so.
I'm saying no. I know you're not, but I'm saying to the
I
audience.
don't know.
Whatever you're there for, but yes, when you like think about a CrossFitter, like in your mind, you might picture something, but then when you see a lot of people, you're like, oh, that's not what I would picture. But
I mean, a lot of people accuse us of doing CrossFit all the time.
people, I think they hear about the weights and the sleds.
That's
and
what they call it. They don't know about OCR. They just call it CrossFit.
I call it, so if somebody asks me what does our gym do? I call it functional fitness,
That's the best way to put it.
right? Because we do movements that they do in CrossFit, but I don't really push a lot of the skilled movements and a lot of the like gymnastic moves. I try to teach those baselines for a lot of people because there's a lot of fitness and strength that can come from those. But
But I feel like
that's-
you reserve those for like specific people who are kind of already at that level. You're not
I'll
like
toss it in
throwing them
sometimes
out.
with some of the newer folks.
Do you?
But we modify it and scale it, right?
Okay.
So, but still, I try to make things where you can use it for everyday functionality, right?
Mm-hmm.
For life, to help you pick up your grandkids, to be a better athlete, to get stronger. And as you increase the foundations of the different levels and you get better, well, then we work into the other stuff, right? So, but I mean, let's be honest, other than looking cool, what's the point of doing a muscle up?
It does look cool.
looks
Looking
really cool.
very
It looks really cool when you do it correctly.
and you're really strong to be able to do it.
Yeah.
But
But
like
there's different-
functionally speaking,
But there's so many different versions of the muscle up too.
well, I mean, you got kips. and
You've
stuff.
got like the kipping, you've got the like the standard CrossFit, you got the gymnastics,
Yeah.
you got the calisthenics.
But doing a deadlift is very functional, and it'll help you in your
Yeah.
life, and it'll help strengthen your posterior chain.
Yep.
It'll help your core. It'll help you not hurt your back as you get older, right? So that's what I try to focus on more than anything, and then work people up to the flashy stuff, right? I don't start with the flashy stuff, right? So thinking about that, understanding the importance of like specifically like for high rocks or OCR or anything, any type of thing you're training for. It could just be a 5K. Understanding the importance of developing the aerobic capacity of your heart and understanding the importance of if you're going to do an event and the bulk of the event is say running, well, guess what you should probably be doing a lot of?
Yeah.
Running.
So like this morning on our run, me and Laura and James were out there, and of course me and Laura already.
Lauren,
like,
James, and I. Laura, James,
can
and I.
I throw a pillow at him?
No, I mean, he's correct.
He is correct, but don't come at me right now. I'm tired.
He's not coming at you. He's just being.
I know, but I don't have a pillow to smother him with. I have this.
It's a pillow, but okay, keep going.
Anyway, Laura, James, and I, sorry,
There we go.
we were asking him, obviously me and Laura are already planning on doing Anaheim. Well, we felt like we were moving through the stations pretty good, minus some transitions. So we're asking James, what are we improving on? Like, how can we push the sled even faster or pull it faster? And you told us the best place to improve is going to be your running.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you think about it, so let's say you
And
push the
we
sled.
did pretty good on the run. But
Let's say you push the sled 15 seconds faster.
sure.
Right? That's significantly faster.
Yeah.
Okay. But let's say you take 3 seconds off of your
Lap.
lap times,
Mm-hmm.
right?
How many laps?
8. So that's 24 seconds, right? So to take 15 seconds off of your sled push is going to take a significant amount of strength,
Yeah.
right? And you're going to have to push really fast. If you don't get any more strength, you're going to have to put a big effort to
Yeah.
get that, right?
Yeah.
To run 3 seconds a lap faster may not be that hard, right?
Yeah.
Especially if you didn't push yourself as hard as you could in the race,
Yeah.
right? Or if you develop that aerobic capacity and maybe do some threshold stuff where between now and then, like what would pay more dividends, running 3 seconds faster a lap or doing 15 seconds more faster on a sled push,
Yeah.
right? So like looking at like the most bang for your buck, right? She was talking about the first two things she said, she's like, I can definitely get faster on the skier and the rower.
Those were my first two things that I could do us better there, and we could transition less. But I mean, you even said it yourself, like that's not going to help you.
No, it's not, because even if, right? So I was watching the European Championships for high rocks, and on the skier, the fastest guy was like 330, I think 332, 334, something like that, right? And the slowest guy was like 354, 355, right? Well, you're talking about from the slowest to the fastest guy, 20 seconds maybe, right? Well, the fastest guy ended up like third. I mean, the slowest guy ended up third. So the guy who had the slowest skier time was third overall, right? So he picked that time up somewhere. And in fact, he was last on the sled. He was like third or fourth slowest on he was last on the skier. He was third or fourth slowest on the sled push. So the first two events,
Yeah.
he was toward the bottom,
Yeah.
right? But he was picking up ground every lap.
Yeah.
Every time he ran, he was picking up ground. Every time he ran, he was picking up ground, right? I mean, Tommy and I in our very first high rocks, that's exactly what we did. We were literally the last guys into the skier, the last guys out of the skier, the last guys into the sled push, and the last guys out of the sled push. But by the rower, we were in first place. So between the sled push, there's the sled pull and the burpees,
Yep.
right? And then it's the rowers. So within 2 events after that sled pull, we were in first place
Yeah.
because, bam.
Well, and that was one thing Laura and I noticed when we went through it. We were obviously like taking into, and this is just based on our wave, but we were taking into account like right out the gate, we passed a lot of people in our wave right away. But I was like, hey, we need to reserve some energy. Don't go too hot. You saw a lot of girls go out real hot. We were probably 5th or 6th into the skier, and we were the last of those out. And then same thing. We start at every station. We started picking one up, dropping a person, until we got to this farmer carries, and it was just us and one other team of ladies ahead of us, and we just kind of kept keeping them on our tail, and by the lunges, we were just done. We were past them. So we noticed what we thought helped us in that. Again, Wave came behind us and kicked our butts. But you had a lot of people out there who trained a lot of strength, but weren't runners. And I think we would identify more as runners who strength train. And I feel like that's kind of what helped us and where we can be where we can like benefit ourselves moving forward.
Right. And honestly think like races like OCR, obstacle course racing, races like High Rocks. Trying to think of something else.
DECA?
DECA Fit, yeah, the DECA races or whatever, the Spartan version, basically kind of High Rocks. They're all fitness, strength oriented, but the bulk of what you do is run. And I feel like the hardest thing to learn in those events is to run. So if you're someone who works out and you like to do strength training, you like to do CrossFit, or you like to do obstacles, like you're a Ninja Warrior or something like that, right? Usually people that do that stuff do that because they hate running.
Yeah.
They don't want to run, right?
Yeah.
And so they do those things. And so they get strong, right? They enjoy it. It's fun. And running is not enjoyable to them. I know because I used to be that same person.
Yeah.
Right? And so the running is honestly the hardest part. Learning how to do obstacles, learning how to lift weight or push weight, that's easy because it's fun. You enjoy it, especially in the group settings.
Yeah,
But if
for
you
sure.
can learn to enjoy running, and honestly, enjoying running is not that difficult. Usually you don't like it for one reason. You're
It's
running
long.
too fast.
Oh, that. Okay.
You're running too hard. And so every time you go out, you feel like trash when you're done because you're running too hard, too fast, right? You're not running easy enough to get the aerobic benefit, and you're not running hard enough to get any type of anaerobic benefit. And then because when you do run too hard or you train too hard, just a little too hard, the fatigue starts to add up and your body gets tired. And then you can't go out and do a max effort. But if you learn to do easy efforts the bulk of the time, the 80-20 principle, so 80% of the time you're doing like really, 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 really easy stuff, well, then when it's time to do hard stuff, you can go hard. Does that make sense? Right? So I'll give you a perfect example. So I do 10 efforts on average a week, okay? So that means usually that's 6 to 7 runs a week, and then that's like 3 to 4 like strength workouts a week, right? For the most part, right? So some days I do 2 a days, right? So and then some days are long efforts where I kind of put the both together, right? So, but 8 of those efforts, for the most part, I'm like super low key. Like today's run, like my average heart rate was like 128.
Yeah, it was chill today.
Okay, very chill, very low key. When I was done, I felt great. I could have done the whole thing over again. I was not tired.
No, I
didn't
wasn't
feel like
tired.
I didn't feel like I worked out even at all, right? So those are how most of my runs are. Even my long run, right? When I do like 10 miles, I do 10 miles this Saturday or what have you. It'll be super easy, super chill. I'll probably run with other people, so my heart rate will be even lower because I'll be running slower than I could run. And so when I'm done with it, I feel great. I feel fine.
But then he comes to track day and runs
Right.
at 5:30.
But then, right, on like Thursday, we do the hard workout. And the hard workout sucks. Like
They do
when
not
I say
feel
it
good.
sucks, like I'm done and I'm laying on the ground, like CrossFit style lay on the ground. And I'm like,
He's gross.
This is horrible.
He's
Like,
gross.
I am like miserable doing it. I feel like a beast when I'm done, but like the rest of the day, I feel drained. Like I can't get enough calories. I can't get enough sugar and carbs back in my body, enough protein. I just feel tired the rest of the day. I guarantee you, knowing how hard that workout is and how hard I push myself on that day, if on like Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, I did like semi-hard efforts, there's no way I could run that fast and push that hard on those workouts. I just couldn't do it because I'd be too tired, right?
Yeah.
There's days when I'm pushing really hard and I'm trying to hit the pace that I'm trying to hit on that workout, and like my legs feel just heavy. Like they just feel so heavy. And so just thinking about, man, if I had the fatigue of like just hard enough runs, there's no way. There's no way. And it probably would hurt myself, and I probably wouldn't even do the workout,
Yeah.
right? So when you do the easy stuff, you set yourself up to really be able to push and get in your anaerobic capacity, or when it's time to do a threshold run, you can actually do an actual threshold run where you get your heart rate up into that threshold area, and you can hold it for 30, 45 minutes without having to crash at the end.
It's just getting over yourself.
Yeah.
Not you, but the person like going out there running. I'm gonna go run.
You mean like ego?
Yeah, ego.
okay,
When
like
you go
ego.
out on these runs, trying to go aerobic pace, you're trying to tell them 128 heart rate. Like,
That honestly, that's a hard thing. I was talking to somebody today or what have you, and I don't think they're ego running, but like they've definitely they've been in fitness their whole life, and they've looked good. Definitely knew, I mean, maybe wasn't like didn't know it all, right? But with what they did know, they did a great job of like building a really solid looking physique. You know what I'm saying? And probably was very strong at the time, right? And so, but it was that same mindset of like, we got to grind it out. We got to go hard. We got to do, heavy weight.
Yeah.
And so now they're kind of dealing with a few injuries, or not injuries, I guess like old injuries, right? Things that
Sure.
they got injured, right? Probably from training too hard or what have you. And now they kind of have some mobility issues, things of that nature that they're trying to work through. And they're doing a pretty good job of doing it, I feel like. I think they're putting a good effort in. And so, but it's trying to learn something so different, and it's contrary to what they've always done their whole life. So here's what I was telling my friend Lauren this morning. We were kind of talking about what are we going to do, right? What are we going to do for this next stage to try to improve a little bit, even if it's just 1 to 3 minutes somewhere. And that's a lot of time to take off of that event. But like, what are we going to do to get faster, right? And so, what was your very first question that you asked me about Wednesday?
Oh, yeah. Should I be adding more aerobic to my Wednesdays?
No, you didn't say aerobic. You said, should I be putting a hard workout or another workout on
Into my Wednesday, yeah.
And what was my answer?
What do you think?
So what do you do on Wednesday?
I would say for people who don't know, when I'm not at BC Fitness, I am a row coach at Row House. And so on Wednesdays, I teach 3 classes. Each one's 45 minutes.
She thinks it's okay to be in an open relationship.
Oh my gosh.
It kills us inside every time she leaves, but it's okay. Go ahead.
Oh my God.
yeah, she's an
I
affiliate
keep
though.
crawling back every time.
And what am I?
Oh my goodness. Anyway,
Low for no reason.
so I do the
What was
3
last class
classes.
you came to? Yeah. Okay.
class.
Continue, Lauren.
I was gonna say. I do 3 classes: 5:30, 8:45, and noon. If you ever want to come row with me, but I'm on the rower for at least 75% of the class participating. I do get off and I help people, but I am on there because a lot of people need the guidance. They need to see the example.
So
and
let's make this
then,
long story
yeah.
short.
And then I teach at night now.
You row for how long in one day? Total.
Total.
4 hours, 5 hours, 6 hours,
No,
2.5?
like almost like 2 and 4, 2 hours and 2.5.
3 hours.
Sure, 3.
Because I know how your math works. All right. So 2.5 to 3 hours of rowing. Okay. Rowing for 2.5 to 3 hours. Okay. How long does it take to do, on average, 1,000 meters? For the average, of maybe five minutes.
For me or for the class?
Say average person, probably 5 minutes or so.
5 minutes, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Average.
Do the
Average
math,
bear.
bro.
Yeah. How you
In
do
an hour.
How was your rower time at High Rocks?
I mean, I was splitting at work, but I mean, I was hitting a 150 split when I was on it.
Dang.
It's okay.
It's
That's
okay.
okay.
For a female, that's pretty good.
We don't. No, I think for an athlete, I think would be the way to say it. Let's not put that gender.
Well,
role on it.
because you hit like a 128 sometimes.
Yeah, but that's max effort,
Sure.
right? That's not my easy pace. My easy pace is like 150.
I hate you.
So anyway,
I hate you.
but the point is that she was automatically went back to
I need to do more.
I got to do more hard
I gotta
stuff.
do more. I gotta
to get
pick
better.
up. I gotta pick up the slack for
I got to pick the slack up
team.
and I got to go harder, right?
Yeah.
And so the question I had was, okay, let me ask this question. So for the past 2 months, before these past 2 months, everything you didn't get you the results you were looking for, correct?
Yes,
But the last 2 months, you've actually been doing much better
I have.
with not only your performance, or you have done much better with your performance. So maybe since your performance has improved so much, maybe you should continue doing what you've been doing.
I
Yes?
know. Yes.
Okay. So if you are working out and training and you're not improving, or you're always injured, or
Tired.
you're always exhausted, well,
Come
then
on down to
maybe-
BC Fitness.
Maybe you should change what it is you're doing, because it ain't working. It gets me so much. And just athletes in general is like, I don't know how many people I've, over the last 3 years, I've probably coached in, one-on-one coach. I'm not talking about like people that come to the gym, but like literally like I'm your personal coach.
Yeah.
Right? For either run coaching,
Yeah. Like I report to you.
you report to me, I give you workouts, whatever, right? I cannot tell you. I've probably coached maybe 500 people in the
believe
past 3 years,
Yep.
easily, right? And I cannot tell you how many times people come to me and they're like, "Yeah, man, I've been working so hard for the last 3 or 4 years, and I just keep getting every time I go to run, I just get hurt, and so I don't want to. I just hate running because I'm always injured." Or, I tried to train. I was training for the marathon, and then I couldn't run for like 2 months afterwards because I hurt my knee or my ankle or my hip or something like that. And then I asked them, like, okay, what does your mileage look like? And they're like, oh, I was running so much. I was running like 20 miles a week. I think I got up to like 25 miles. And I was like, what's your long run? Well, my long run was like 18, 20 miles. And I'm like, you did 25 miles in a week and one run was 20 miles? Okay, I see part of the problem. Right. And then you look at their like heart rate data and the runs, or they're like whatever pace they were shooting for to run for the marathon. That's the pace all of their runs were,
Yeah.
And so like the recipe is a recipe for disaster.
Yeah.
And probably 95% of people, maybe 90% of those folks, when I start coaching them, they're like struggling because the concept of slowing down, you said it earlier, pride, right? But the concept of it just doesn't make any sense. It seems like it doesn't make sense until you break it down.
Well, and there's something else, and you and I have talked about this before, and I don't want to say it's being delusional, but like I've mentioned to you, like people I talk to, I'm always like checking in with them, like whether I have friends who show up who are the very go hard people, and then they show up to races, they're all taped up, and I'm like, well, and I'll ask them like, well, how was your race? They're like, oh, I felt really, really good, or like.
But my knee hurt.
But my knee, or
And I couldn't run as fast.
I have, I know some people who technically, in my opinion, should be faster than me because they're strong individuals. I know they're strong runners, but I'm still performing better than them on race day in certain events. And then I ask them, well, how was it? Like, I had a really good race. I'm like, well, your time isn't necessarily reflecting that. But they always say everything's great. Like, oh, the training's great. Oh, I always feel great. I'm like, do you?
Well,
And so I asked you, and you said they might not have a concept of what
great feels like.
what
yeah.
that actually feels like. They just think feeling fine and getting through it is great.
Right. And that's usually the hardest thing to teach people is to teach them what good actually feels like.
Yeah.
Because whatever they've been at, they've been at it so long, they don't know.
It's just like normal.
Right. And then when they do take a break, maybe they go on vacation or something like that.
They feel lazy.
And they feel like lazy, or the injuries kind of go away and they start feeling better.
Yeah.
Right. And they're like, oh, well, obviously it's the exercise that made me hurt.
Yeah.
Right. It wasn't the intensity or the build.
It wasn't
the
how I was
volume,
doing it.
Right. It was the actual exercise.
Yeah.
That I have bad knees, so I can't exercise or I can't run, or, every time I run, I got my feet hurt. Right. And not to say there's not legitimacy to that, but that's like a very few and far between type thing.
Yeah.
It usually has more to do with like your training load and your intensity levels. And so I've seen it over and over again. I had one young lady who every year she would run the marathon, and she did it, I think, like for 6 or 7 years.
Yeah.
And every year she would run the marathon. She never got faster. So she was more experienced every year, but she never got any faster.
Yeah.
5.5 hours was the fastest she was able to go. And every time she ran it, she had some sort of injury. Most of the time it was her knee. She's like, I have bad knees, my knees hurt. Okay? 1 year of teaching her how to run better, she went from 4:30 to she went from 5:30 to sub 4.
Yeah.
And guess what? Knee problems disappeared. It's crazy. Her knee problems,
Magic.
just magically disappeared. So it had nothing to do with like she had bad knees, and more to do with her training style and how she was building her volume and things of that nature.
Yeah.
And so running, the crazy thing is the easy training stuff, the volume, building the foundation. I've used this example before, but it's real simple. The house can only get as big as the foundation, right? So if you think about the foundation, the aerobic fitness is your foundation. And anything else you do, whether it's a lactate threshold run, an anaerobic run, a HIIT workout, high intensity interval training, whatever, those are just floors you're building on your house. And they can only be as tall, or you can only stack on as many of those that can be accommodated by the aerobic fitness, right? So if you're doing 10 efforts a week, right, well, then that means you can have 2 rooms. One can be a threshold. One can maybe be a aerobic style effort, right? Anaerobic style effort, I apologize. But those are 2 different runs. Those are 2 different workouts, So like a threshold workout, basically, a lactate threshold workout is something that you would do a sustained effort for anywhere from, if it's a run, anywhere from 15 to 30, maybe 45 minutes, depending on your level of like your level of fitness, right? Or experience, up to 60 minutes, maybe. That's a threshold workout, okay? So you're in your lactate threshold for up to 60 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay? An anaerobic workout is like super intense for very short intervals, right? Maybe 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes, maybe 15 minutes max if you can do that, right? Maybe it takes 30 minutes because you do a 10-minute round and then you take a break and then you do another 10-minute round, and then you take a break, you do another 10-minute round, right? So, but you're actually only doing 10 minutes of work at a time.
Yeah.
Right? And so those are very short because that's all your body can really, truly create enough energy to do. Well, if you're doing that a couple days a week, that's enough. Seriously, that is enough. And so it was crazy. Like you think about the types of workouts. So let's say specifically, Lauren, you're training for High Rocks. That's the
Yes.
workout you want to try to get ready for.
Yes.
Okay. How many days a week do you want to train?
For High Rock specifically?
No, just
Oh,
in
in
general. The race you're picking is High Rocks.
6.
I'm asking you how many days a
6.
week do you want to train, or
6.
are you able to train?
6.
6 days a week. Okay. So what is your experience level? Are you an athlete that's already been training and racing? You have a good volume, or are you brand new to the game?
I'm an athlete who's experienced and been doing it.
Okay. So you're doing 6 days a week. So maybe we could say that of those 6 days a week, you're going to take 2 of those days and there'll be 2 a days.
Yes.
Okay. So that means you're going to get anywhere from like 6 to 8 efforts a week,
Yes.
right? Okay. So if that's the case, 5 of those days you need to be running super duper easy, right? 1 of those days needs to be some sort of long effort.
Yep.
So since it's High Rocks, 6 to 7 miles is the longest effort. Now for someone like you, that's not a super long run.
No.
So that doesn't put you in the realm or category of that being a hard effort.
Nope.
As long as you're running
Slow.
and
Yeah,
easy.
yeah.
Okay. So that still leaves you 1 to 2 harder efforts. So High Rocks is a lactate threshold activity for the most part.
Yes.
Right. You may creep into the anaerobic, right? Depending on how hard you push toward the end, right? You don't want to do it too early or you'll
No,
blow up.
You will blow up.
But for the most part, it's a lactate. It'll last you somewhere between 50 minutes to an hour and 20 minutes, depending on if you're good. If you're not good, if you're fast, how about
Yeah.
that? Okay. So that means you need to be comfortable operating at high intensities for that amount of time.
Yeah.
So you should probably have one of those kind of workouts. Yes?
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
You also will probably have some time where you say like the last 10 to 15 minutes of the race, you may have to try to push really, really hard.
Yeah.
Okay. And you may slip into your anaerobic, right? Especially when you get to the
That's
wall
when the
balls,
suck happens.
right? So you have to learn, if you want to be really good and compete at the highest level, you have to put yourself in situations where you're kind of maxed out.
Yeah.
Well, then that's an anaerobic activity. So now you've just built into your plan, I'm running 6 days a week. One of those runs is a long run. Now I've got a threshold workout and I've got a anaerobic workout, correct? So your threshold workout, maybe that day is just the threshold workout. I probably wouldn't put anything else in because that's going to be a hard, long workout,
Yes.
right?
It's exhausting.
Your anaerobic workout, you could probably put in a short run or something, maybe use that as your warm-up, and then you dive into that anaerobic. But that anaerobic isn't going to last very long. It's going to be, like I said, maybe 20 minutes worth of work total, split up into like maybe 5-minute intervals, 20-minute intervals, whatever. But it's max effort,
Yeah.
right? So you spread those out, maybe days or 2 between that are easy to allow your body to recover so you can actually push hard on those days.
Yeah.
Right. And so on some of those easy days, you could do some specific stuff or like maybe you're doing some strength stuff, but you have to monitor and make sure that you're not going
Too hard.
max effort.
Yeah.
Right. So you build that extra strength and things of that nature. So that's how you would put together a training program. So what's the bulk of what I'm working on?
Are you asking me?
Yeah.
What's the bulk of what I'm working on?
Yeah.
What do you mean the bulk? I guess I don't know what you mean by the
What's
question.
the majority of the stuff I'm doing?
Oh, running?
Okay.
Yeah,
What's the
running.
majority of what you're going to do in the event?
Running.
There you go. So whatever the biggest thing you're going to do, you should probably do that more
Yeah.
than anything else.
Yeah.
Right? So the workouts, a sled push on High Rocks is one of the harder things in High Rocks.
It is.
But it's only one thing.
It's 1 of 8.
There are 8, actually technically there's 16.
Technically 16 efforts, 8 stations, but 8 of those runs.
Right. So improving on 8 runs or improving on 1 sled, what's going to give you the most bang for your buck?
The runs.
There you go.
Yeah.
Right? It's that simple.
The runs.
Yeah.
Podium, here I come.
There we go. So this dude's like 12.
The low runs.
The low runs. Yep.
I
So
hate
we
you
try to
both.
convince them that that's not a good name.
Look, if
But
somebody else
whatever.
wants to come to the table with a better name, Miss Jessica she gave us the nickname. We thought it was very cute.
She thought it was funny. She's making money on you. I didn't even
I
know.
hope not. Jessica wouldn't do that. But if someone else can come to the table with a better name and apparently a better Instagram for me because no one likes my Instagram handle.
I don't think it's not that no one likes it. It's just they don't understand it because that's not who you are anymore. You're not the backyard bohemian because you're never in a backyard.
I'm in the backyard a lot.
Nobody ever sees you in the backyard,
No, no one sees me.
right?
No one sees me. I don't have my bees back there
So you
anymore.
can always change your name.
Yeah, we'll see.
My name used to be on Instagram. It used to be Mr. J Wyatt.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah,
They ain't that no more.
No, it's running with James.
Oh,
Why?
because we always be
Branding?
running with James.
And because I'm
James, be running.
James, and people be running with me,
mm,
right? So, and I want people to come run with me.
yeah.
So, was that what you were looking for, Lauren?
Yes.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Is that it? Is anything
Yeah.
we missed?
I don't think so. I mean, I think that's good. I mean, if you want to do an event like High Rocks, get out there and run. I know you don't like it, but you kind of need to do it because you're definitely not going to like it when you get in the event and it really sucks.
Right. Well, I mean, just in general, whatever event you're going to go do, whatever the bulk of that. So I think triathlon's a perfect example, right? There was a study done for triathletes on what event, if you improved more on, would speed up your overall time. And the two events, or the event that was actually like by far the most improvement is if you improved being a runner.
Really?
Yeah. So in an Ironman specifically, you swim 2 miles. You
Not the swimming?
You bike 112, and then you run a marathon. Okay.
Well, I've witnessed,
Well, think about this. If you run a marathon, the average marathon time is around 4:20, 4:30.
Okay.
Okay. If you swim 2 miles,
Ugh.
right? Well, you only get I think you get 2 hours and 20 minutes or something to do that in, right? That's a long time.
It's a long time to be in water.
But that's a long time to swim 2 miles.
Yeah, that's a
Okay.
really
you could
slow
probably
swim.
doggy paddle 2 miles in 2 hours and 20 minutes.
True.
Okay. Well, if you're going to be in the water for 2 hours, but you're going to be on the road running for 4 hours, the most time you can take off that swim is maybe 30 minutes to an hour.
Yeah, I mean,
But you could take off a lot more time on that run.
Sure.
I've witnessed it. My sister did triathlon. She was dead last coming out of that water.
Yep.
Dead last.
I would be dead last too. That sounds terrible.
Then ended up smoking people on the bike and run. The running where she called everybody.
So the bike is the second thing. And it's the whole point is the bulk of the event is the run and the bike. The swim is such a small part of it, right? If you look at the overall mileage, it's less than 1% of the total mileage of the run. It's not even that much, right? So I think the total mileage is like 140 miles or something. Mm-hmm. Well, what's 2 divided by 140 or 140 divided by 2, right?
70.
So no, that's 140 divided by 2. 2 divided by 140 is how you get the percentage.
oh, 0.7.
Oh, 0.7.
Okay.
Sorry.
So that's not even a percent. So understanding that, yes, you should practice swimming. Yes, you want to become a better swimmer. But where should you probably spend the bulk of your time training? What's going to get you the most bang for your buck? Running. And you know what most triathletes hate doing?
Running.
Running. They spend all their time in the pool and on the bike. Right? So understanding these kinds of concepts, more than likely, just like OCR athletes and just like High Rocks athletes, they hate running because
They're not doing it right.
they're doing it wrong. Right? And if you can learn to do it easy, it's easy to swim and keep the swim easy, to keep your heart rate down. It's easy to ride a bike and keep your heart rate down.
Yeah, that's true.
It's not easy in the beginning anyway to run and keep your heart rate down because you're so focused
On the data.
on that pace.
Yeah.
You're so focused on how fast you're running instead of what does the effort feel like, right?
Yeah.
Speed does not matter except for on threshold or tempo or speed day efforts and the race. That's the only 2 times they matter. Other than that, everything else is just vanity.
Yeah.
Vanity, right? So I see people all the time that are running so fast, like on Strava. And like, I mean, I was like,
Yeah,
dang.
just know if you ever come run with us and James finds you on Strava, he is looking.
I don't stalk people, but I mean, I
You can
try to
see
give
it,
people,
though.
try to give people kudos,
You can see it.
right? But if I don't give you a kudo, you know why.
I don't think I've ever gotten a kudo from you.
I don't think you follow me on Strava. So
Oh, I follow you on Garmin. Maybe that's why.
yeah. So I don't kudo Garmin people.
Oh, okay.
Strava just comes up, right?
Yeah.
So it's just there.
Yeah.
So But that's what I'm saying. If you don't get a kudos from me, you'll understand why. Because I don't just give out kudos willy-nilly. If you're running too fast and your heart rate's too high, I'm not kudoing that. If it was an interval and you're doing it, okay. But you're not getting just random kudos from me. I don't do that. I don't give out
Gotta
fake
earn
kudos.
them kudos.
You don't get a thumbs up unless it's a real thumbs up.
And he does it too. Sitting in the gym, he's just like thumbs up to his
I
phone.
wish I had a thumbs down so I could be like, bad run. I'm just kidding. I wouldn't do that. But I would. Are you ready?
Rocky's ramble?
So we made it through the whole thing. Thank you for staying this long. So we need to address, we probably should have started this one. We need to address the walkout.
Yeah. Okay. So if
So
you tuned
I was
in
very
last
disappointed
week,
in how the episode ended last week.
well, so if
Because the Rockies rambling just like fell apart. Y'all both like crumbled under the pressure of being able to close the thing out by yourselves.
I was in shock.
So if you didn't catch the episode from last week, go back and check it out. You're going to see me and Rocky totally mess up the end because James just like up and left the whole recording.
In
and
my defense, y'all were acting like some clowns.
Well,
and y'all had been acting like some clowns.
we
the whole time.
genuinely thought you were like so upset with us. I think Rocky was scared.
I wasn't scared.
He seemed a little nervous.
I just felt
You
bad.
sounded.
he was
You
nervous.
were like, I don't know what to say. I don't know.
I think
what to do.
I thought I broke you. I was like, man, I broke James.
he
Nobody
literally
ever broke
was.
me.
We don't have the video, but he was literally looking down the hall, thinking he's coming back, and he kept saying he's coming back, and he's like, he's not coming back.
I mean, y'all were acting like some clowns. Y'all wouldn't quit. And then finally, I was like, all right, we're going to wrap this thing up. Let's get it out of here. And I asked you a question, and then you come, oh.
What did you? I forgot what you said, Rocky. Rocky said something that like, but
Oh,
no.
be careful what you say because you're always listening.
That's what you said after I was done when you closed the episode, when you were
Oh,
supposed
to
to be
my
rambling.
ramble. That was my
Are you
ramble.
not going to tell
Yeah.
people why you really left though?
Because I was angry.
He had to go poop.
No.
I was
Oh
so
my
angry.
God.
No. So I had a client that I told y'all that was going to show up at a certain time. And we were
yes.
like 5 minutes past that time.
We
And I was
were.
like, dang, I got to get out of here.
He didn't even say anything though, but he just used that
But
as
it was
an
a perfect
opportunity.
example. It was a perfect opportunity for me to storm off and have great television. It was really good.
And we-
if you'd have seen it, if you'd have seen the video, but somebody
I've been dropping the ball lately.
did not have the right chord, so you didn't even see it. So you could only hear it.
But it's okay. You can hear the terror in Rocky's voice and the uncertainty in mine.
So when he sent me the recording of the podcast, I listened to it just to like kind of watch it before we upload it, and it gets to the part where I walk out, and y'all kind of like are so surprised, and you're like, what do we do? And then she's like, okay, well, Rocky, and y'all try to do a review, but neither one of y'all paid close enough attention to anything that was happening to even do a decent review.
I think what it was, we were both just so unsure of if you were really coming back or what was happening.
And
we were
then
so afraid
she's like,
to keep
okay,
going
well, let's do the
forward.
Rockies rambling. And then you do the whole, let's get whatever it was, the Rocky. And then you didn't ramble.
You said,
You're
all
just
right,
like,
guys,
said a
don't
quote.
take people
You
off.
did.
That's it.
You said, watch what you're listening to. Watch
Be careful
what
what
you
you
say
say
listening.
because because yourself is always listening. I was basically saying watch what you say to
But
yourself.
nobody got that because you like just,
And then you're like, I'm done. I don't know what to do.
yeah. And then y'all like, change your mind, change your life. End episode.
It was such an abrupt way to end it. And Rocky and I apologize on behalf of Rocky and I for how
I fed off
horrible-
Oh.
Lauren's energy, so
So
I
here's what I
apologize
learned
on her
from that.
behalf.
Here's what I learned from that. If something happens to me, I don't know how well this thing's gonna go.
what you mean? Rocky take over. Rocky be running.
I gave you a chance to take over, and Rocky be, what do you call it? Crashing and burning.
Rocky did crash and
We have to
burn.
start outsourcing.
So, but anyway, I mean, I wanted y'all to like shine under the pressure.
We did
and
not
be like,
shine.
We don't need James.
We were not
We're
diamonds.
glad he's gone.
We were not diamonds.
But they were so scared.
We were so afraid. I think we were more of afraid of the aftermath when we shut all the lights off and we had to come see you afterwards. Like, oh my gosh, we're gonna like be running laps for days.
I thought you were mad.
Did you?
I thought, man,
Good.
James
I'm
is
glad.
upset. I guess
I told my daughter last night, like, I was mad.
Like legit mad, or you
I
just
was mad. I was hot. Not at her.
At your
Just 'cause how
daughter?
she's been acting
Oh.
lately. And like I've been warning her. We had like this little come to Jesus meeting like yesterday morning in the washroom. And it was very sweet. And I was like, baby, I want you to understand this. This is why I tell you to do things. This is what's gonna happen. You understand me? Yes, sir. Went the whole thing, right? Very nice. But last night, bro, she was being disrespectful to her mom. She was ignoring her. So finally Leah walks in there and she was watching TV. And Leah's like, it's time to take a bath. And it's already past her bedtime. Her bedtime's 9:30. And it was like almost 10. Right? She's like, baby, we got to take a bath because you got to go to school in the morning. She ignored Leah. She heard her, but she ignored Leah. So Leah walks in there and turns the TV off and says, it's time to take a bath. She didn't yell. She didn't do anything. and she proceeds to turn around and start banging on the sofa, saying, I want to watch TV. I want to watch TV. Dude, I freaking lost it. Like, I was so angry. And I was like, stand up. Get up right now. She starts freaking out, right? And so finally we get her to the bathroom, and she's crying.
I would say that it's a really funny it's actually, I think, kind of a pretty accurate impression if I've seen your daughter get upset.
Oh yeah, that's her.
That's
100%.
quite accurate.
So she gets out of the shower, and I come up to her, and I'm like, baby, I love you, okay? Do you see how mad I am? She's like, yes. I was like, do you ever see me angry? And I promise, she had this look of like total fear in her eyes. And she goes, yes, I mean, no. And I'm like, dude, I never get mad. I was like, you always like ignore us. You know, we give you chance after chance after chance, right? And you hardly ever like see me get angry. I'm usually pretty patient, right? But I was hot. I was just hot. And I was like, I don't like being like this. And it's not right that I get angry and I don't want to act out of anger. I always want to act out of love and like understanding, right?
Yeah.
But I was hot, man. I was so hot. And I was trying not to be, right? And so I'm like, baby, I am angry right now. And it's because of, and I explained like the whole situation and what was going on and what we expect and require out of her and stuff like that. And I was like, there's nothing you can do that'll make me stop loving you. I will always love you no matter what. But I'm mad. I'm real mad right now. She's, okay, Daddy, I'm sorry. And Leah's kind of looking at me like, what's wrong with you, psychopath? And I was like, Mommy, you should help a brother out and stop letting this chick run all over you. And then she like looked at me, I don't let her. So then we got into it. It was good.
It sounds like a great Monday night.
It was a great evening. Everything worked out fine. We all worked it out. Everybody was happy. Olivia even asked me to put her to bed.
And Olivia came and made him a PB&J sandwich just a little while ago.
She did. So I feel bad though, because like this whole day she's been super clingy, and so I don't want her to. I don't never want her to think that she's got to like earn my love, or she's got to like if she does something wrong, she's got to earn it back, right? But I mean, she's 6. She's still learning, right?
Yeah.
But I was hot, and I'm pretty sure people don't agree with me, but I was hot. But guess what? She's been flying right today. She's been doing good. I'm proud of her. I'm real proud of her. So Lauren, just letting you know. Just letting you know. I'm on the edge.
For what?
Don't anger me, because I may go off. Go off. Hey, don't you laugh at her. You're next. You saw what happened last week. I walked out of here. I'd do it again. Don't think I won't.
That's how it was with the dog earlier. The night dog.
Oh my God.
She was getting on my
Say,
nerves.
wait, you have a dog?
She's 4 months old, dude.
Nah, she was
yeah, you're
yelling
not
at me.
allowed
She
to
was
like
just-
snap at a baby.
She was disrespectful me. I was
Oh
like,
my
"What are you
God.
doing, crying,
Disrespecting you.
taking advantage of me, using that cuteness to get away with stuff?"
Yeah. This dude is gonna be such a pushover. This guy's gonna be such a pushover. She's gonna freaking run this dude's life.
Oh yeah.
I really hope not.
Oh, it's gonna.
Oh,
There's no
it's
hope.
happening.
You either make a decision where
It's
it's gonna happen or
happening.
not, and it's gonna happen. Like I don't like speaking that into existence, but I'm just watching you. It's done.
I don't know. I feel like things change a little bit once they start talking.
She's my road dog.
No, they don't change. I was telling Olivia what to do from the time she was born.
Yeah,
Seriously.
I'm being told what to do.
I was like, and when she would go like, man, I say that's yes, sir. So, all right, you ready?
I'm ready.
Time for Rocky's Ramble. Let's get it. Time to redeem yourself.
So, this one's been heavy on my heart the past few days. I'm sorry if you're not it's gonna be a little story I'm gonna speak on. Just to help, to encourage people who feel like they haven't been in, like they're not invited or they get left out of stuff. And sorry to get biblical, but this is to help me get through this past
Never
weekend.
apologize for getting
It really,
biblical,
yeah, I really don't. I'm not really
Go
sorry.
OT. Test.
Yeah, but there was a king, who also wasn't invited. He was a young boy, young lad. He was in the barn when there was a party going on, doing work. Had his head down in the dirt, editing videos, and editing the podcast, with the sheep, doing things.
Yep.
And, he didn't get the invite to the party when there was a guy coming in to see who the next king is, and And the guy's like, hey, man, this ain't all your sons, right? All 8 of them, 2 of them big in stature, go out and advance, get High Rocks certified and whatnot.
Big in stature, above
Yeah.
5'6". Keep going.
And there's another one, right? Yeah, he's a small one. He's the youngest of mine, but I did get David over here. Bring David, bring young King David over here.
Well, he wasn't the king yet, but I get what you're
He
saying.
wasn't. He not yet, as he
was
said.
about to become.
Yeah, and so he became King David, as you know, the Star of David. You may have heard of it. You may have heard of it, but he wasn't invited to the party. He wasn't invited. He was left out, but he didn't use that. He didn't.
People overlooked him because of his stature.
People overlooked him, and
Because he was
so
hanging out with the sheeps,
exactly,
editing videos,
and working,
right?
and so
I find it kind of interesting. What did you do this weekend?
Are we not going to let the man finish his ramble?
No, he's done. What did you do this weekend?
I got I was getting in touch with my inner Apache.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was getting in touch with my roots.
So it was Seti's birthday this weekend?
Yes, it was.
So you celebrated her birthday all weekend?
It's Friday and Saturday.
Friday and Saturday? I don't remember getting an invitation to that.
You were at High Rocks.
No, you didn't know I was a High Rock apparently because you didn't get that invitation. So where was my invite to throwing axes and going out to dinner?
Axe throwing didn't happen until Friday, and I called you on Thursday. Thursday you told me you were going out of town.
No. Did you not know you were going to axe throwing?
Yeah, we didn't plan it till Friday.
You lying sack. That's
real.
not what Seti told me.
What?
That is not what Seti told me.
There was
bro.
a dinner planned with her family.
Yeah, I don't remember getting an invitation to that either.
My mom didn't get an
And
invitation.
Seti's like one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Her and Nyla, that's like those are my 2 favorites right now. Mm-hmm. And I would have loved to celebrate the day of her birth, but I didn't get an invitation to that. But you know what? You don't hear me complaining about getting my feelings hurt,
Dang.
getting invited to something I didn't know anything about.
Can I
Right?
just say,
And here's the difference: if you had invited me, I would have gone, but I didn't get an invite.
can I just say
Dang.
there was so much crossover in that ramble between like your personal experience and the story of King David that I was like, I can't tell if he's actually telling a story from the Bible or what is happening right now.
So, I mean, obviously, King David wasn't editing videos, so he was trying to make that about him.
I get it.
But he was
But I'm saying
correct
there's a
in
lot
the
of
short stature
crossover.
because David was like 13, 14 years old at the time, so he's about his height.
Ouch.
Oh,
okay.
Lauren, do you have anything to add?
Poor Rocky.
Silent treatment. Engaged.
Lauren, if I were you, I would be enjoying this so much because usually this is you.
This is usually me, so I
So
actually am
look
enjoying
at it. She
this.
feels bad for you. Instead of like
I
being
do.
excited and helping jump on the
No.
bandwagon like you would be doing,
Yeah.
she feels bad for you.
I do. Can I say I have a big heart? But no, nothing to add. Rocky, maybe check your text messages and actually put things on a calendar and
I know
stop
because we did
blaming other
talk about
people.
it. We talked about it for like.
And next he's
several
gonna
weeks.
say, "Oh no, what's gonna happen is Stadium's gonna come and go," and he's gonna be like, "Why didn't I get invited?" Mm-hmm. That's what's gonna
No, I
happen.
volunteered for Stadium.
Yeah, but when we go
We better see you there.
and we race and we podium, you're gonna be like, nobody invited me to race, even though we've all said you should try to race it instead of
you
just
should
going and running it.
definitely
Oh,
race
And
it.
you're like,
not
oh no, I'm not guaranteed a podium. You're never guaranteed a podium.
Oh, when it's me out there,
Yeah, but he's gonna say something. And when we
All
go to
five,
when we
six
go to
of them.
when we go to High Rocks World Championships, I guarantee he's gonna be like, I didn't know y'all were leaving. Y'all went to Manchester without me. I'm like, yeah, we went without you, bro, because you didn't qualify and you didn't buy a ticket to go. You're more than welcome. Here's your invitation for Waco, April 1st. You guys can come with us too. We'd love to have you.
We'd love to have you
Join
run with
Team
us.
BC Fitness. We're going to be racing
And
in
then doing
in
the open
morning
wave.
heat, the 10 to 1. Make sure you join BC Fitness. They'll put you in our race. We'll stay together. It's going to be a great time.
use our 20% discount
And first,
code.
yes, you have a code you can use. Just go to the BC Fitness app. You'll find it. Also, you're invited to the run that we do on Saturday mornings at 7 o'clock.
7
Right?
o'clock.
7 o'clock
7
run.
o'clock.
Okay, you guys are also invited. If you're free, please come. Anybody's welcome. We'll stay together. We don't leave anybody. Okay. You're also invited to the Sunday Fun Day workouts we do on Sundays at 5 o'clock. You guys also are more than welcome.
I'm
to
waiting
join.
for you to be like, you're not
Anybody's
invited.
welcome, okay. You're also invited on Thursdays. We do a workout at 11:30. Okay, no, you can't come.
You're not
But
invited
you are
to
more
that.
than
That's
welcome to
private.
come. Okay, that's that VIP. Okay, and I'm sorry, you're just not there yet. But you're more than welcome to come to that. And then also on May 27th, we're going to be in Manchester racing at the High Rocks World Championships. We'd love for you to come. You can video us. You can watch us. You can do the live and all that good stuff. Okay, so we're all good till May, right?
Yeah, I think we've covered everything through May. Yeah.
So I don't want to hear anything about
Yeah.
anything about I didn't get invited to. I also,
man.
my birthday is on Monday. So this weekend, I sent a message out to some guys and say, hey, let's go watch John Wick because it's dropping on Friday. Did I not send you a message about
And
that?
did I not say it's a date?
You sent a bunch of memes, so I'm not 100% sure if that was in or not.
Yeah, right.
Oh, I was gonna say I didn't get that invite, but you said dudes. I'm not a dude, and
Yeah, no,
I have
you-
not seen any
you
John
won't
Wicks.
be getting the invite, yeah.
Well, two of the guys bailed, and I was like, well, it's a date.
Yeah, it'd be just the two of us.
Yep.
Yeah. It's gonna be nice. It'll be like he'll be bouncing around. What are we gonna do, Spike? What are we gonna do, Spike? Huh? What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do?
He is the you are the Spike that whatever that little dog's name is. That is
It'll be
the,
like, shut up.
that is the dynamic.
I don't know
of
why I
these
used to
two.
like that one cartoon. I think why is because every time they did that thing by the end of the cartoon, the little one would be walking around and
Looking all
the bulldog would be like, what are we gonna do today? What are we gonna do? And the little one would be like, shut up. It was hilarious. I don't know.
I'm trying to remember what the little dog's name was. Tyke, Chester.
I think Spike was the big one. I don't know.
Spike was the big one. Was that Looney Tunes?
Yeah, it was. Looney Tunes.
I was actually thinking about
Anyway,
Taz
guys,
today.
thanks for coming in today, guys. Don't forget, rate 5 stars. If you're watching on YouTube, thank you for watching. Thank you for joining us. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. I hope
Yes.
you learned something from it. You can always subscribe, follow the YouTube channel. We'd like to know, comment below. We always want to engage with people as well. And I'll be honest with you, with YouTube, it's all with the algorithm, right? So it's a little thing for you to subscribe, to click that button, right? But it helps us hugely. And then also, if you share this, it will really help the channel out so that we can be able to do more content, more things like that, and offer additional stuff, right? So we got more stuff coming out. So
And once again, the Team BC is taking sponsorships for Manchester and World Championship. If you want to be part of the BC team and the BC journey, reach out to James and let us know how we can do a partnership with you. We can get you on the podcast, get you on YouTube, get you on the socials.
Yep.
We'd love to have some partners.
Yep. You can email me at james@mybcfit.com. So, thanks, guys. We'll see you next week. We'll check you out. Be on the lookout. Got a new shoe review coming out this week as well. We're going to be reviewing the Nike Zoom X Zegama. So it's a trail shoe. And spoiler alert, it's got Zoom X foam. I don't know if that's really a spoiler. I mean, it's called the Zoom X Zegama, but whatever. Which is their super foam in a trail shoe. Is it good? I don't know.
Tune in.
You'll find out, right? All right. So remember, guys.
Change your mind.
You change your life. Bye.
Peace.